Morning.
Morning.
Let's start in something comfy, suggesting a gentle heart opener, maybe with blocks or a bolster. So it could be goddess, or you could let the bolster come down a little lower, straight onto the mat, and just open the heart gently. Find a place that's comfortable. Settle into the space. Let yourself soften down onto the props. Maybe take a moment take a big breath in through your nose, and just sigh it away out of your mouth. Let yourself soften and release. And as you bring your attention to your breath, allow it to become a little slower, a little deeper. Letting the belly rise as you inhale and gently contract as you exhale. Letting the weight of your body kind of sink down a little more with every exhale. Breathing into any spaces that you notice might be tight or achy. Allowing the breath to flow there and heal. I'm going to ask you to bring to mind an instance where you were maybe the receiver of an act of kindness. No matter how small, let that memory bring a smile to your lips. Kindness is an ideal that is easily accessible to all of us. Though it may seem simple to the point of insignificance, many cultures throughout the world and history have recognized kindness as a powerful virtue. It may be the simplest way to experience and share all the grandest ideals of humanity. We can make the choice to act from the best place within ourselves at any time, while simultaneously recognizing the highest potential in another with the smallest of acts, nourishing the seed of hope in each soul we encounter. In a way, kindness acts as the oil that makes the engine of our world move more smoothly and with less friction. We can still get where we're going, but the ride is more pleasant. And those around us can share in the ideal world that we help to create. We're all fortunate that kindness is limitless in its supply and available to everyone. Kindness expands the light within us and reaches out to touch the light in others as well. Gives us all a glimpse of the glow that has the power to enlighten her world. I ask that perhaps this morning you offer some kindness to yourself as you practice, allowing yourself to breathe into the poses, allowing yourself to take the options that are right for you this morning. Take a moment to make an intention for your practice this morning or for something that you're working on off the mat. Let that intention be phrased in the present tense in a positive way, as if it is already so. And let's take a collective cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the mouth. Again, inhaling through the nose and out through the mouth. And then gently sealing the lips. Breathing in and out through the nose as we will throughout the practice if it feels okay for you. And when you feel ready, gently and slowly, using your hands to bring yourself up to a seat. And remove the props from behind you. Come to sit perhaps on a block or a blanket or even the bolster. Lift your hips a little bit. And come into Sukhasana. The ankles crossed, or maybe you've got one foot in front of the other. Whatever's most comfortable for you. And feel the sit bones root down. And just take a moment to settle, letting the sit bones root, and at the same time, letting the crown of the head lift up towards the ceiling. Notice how the shoulders are feeling this morning, and shrug them up towards your ears as you inhale. And exhale, release them down. Inhale, lift them up. And exhale down. One more time. Inhale up and squeeze as you get up to the top. Pause your breath. And let them go. And then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. And see if you can keep this nice kind of strength here in the center and then lift through your heart center as you let your ear drop down and breathe and just let the ear fall at the weight of the head. You're going to feel the stretch through the opposite shoulder, maybe down into the whole joint, maybe into the arm. Maybe let this arm swing a little. Release. And then maybe stretch this left arm out and flex the wrist. And maybe bring the right hand up and over your ear without pulling, just letting the weight of your hand draw the ear a little closer to the shoulder. And feel the stretch coming all the way down the left side. Big breaths. Imagine you can direct your breath right into that space that you're opening in the left shoulder. Release the right hand and lift your head to center. Maybe roll your shoulders a little and then take to the opposite side. So first, as you let your ear fall, notice if the right ear hikes up and see if you can roll it down and back.
And swing that arm a little to release the shoulder. And then stretch that arm out. If it feels okay, flex the wrist. Feel the stretch get a little more, and maybe take the arm over. Just the weight of the arm, letting the head fall a little more. Breathe into the space in the right shoulder. Big breath in. Big deep breath out. Release the hands on holding your head and gently lift the head back up to center. Drop your chin to your chest and let the weight of your head now kind of feel stretch the back. Feel the stretch go down your spine a little bit into the upper back. And maybe this time bring your hands and clasp them and gently let them come to the back of the head. And again, definitely not pulling or pushing, but just a gentle weight. Letting the chin come a little closer to the chest. And then keeping the hands where they are, lift your head back up. Drop the thumbs down to kind of support your neck and press your head into your hands and your hands into your head and pull the elbows apart. Roll the back, roll the shoulder blades down the back, lift the heart. Make that little tension there as you press the head into the hands into the head. And release. And back to center. And bring your hands in front of you and come onto hands and knees. Head up onto your knees if you choose to. Finding a tabletop position. Let your toes point straight back from your knees, and your knees are straight under your hips, hands right underneath your shoulders. And then draw the belly up into the spine a little bit. Press the mat away. Spread your fingers. Press into the knuckles, fingertips, that fleshy part between the index finger and the thumb. And then imagine the length from the tailbone to the crown of the head getting a little longer. And take a few cat cows from this lovely position of strength. Inhaling, lifting the heart forward. And exhaling, rounding through the spine, squeezing all the air out and pressing the mat away with both your hands and your shins and your feet. Everything pressing away. Take any moments you need to here. If you need to take an extra breath in one position or the other, and pause and just feel the stretch through that. I like to take an extra breath or two in the cat position with my back arched and wiggle my head, wiggle my hips a little bit, feel the stretch through the spine. And then finally coming back to that neutral spine. We'll take one more cow as we inhale the heart forward, lift the gaze. And as you round into cat this time, drop the hips back to the heels. Stretch the hands forward. Inhale, pull yourself back up to your cow. Arch the spine. Exhale, round through and down to child's pose. Do that a couple more times, articulating through the spine, pulling yourself up and straight into the arch of the back. And then exhaling as you round back down. This is something that's really nice to do first thing in the morning. Getting the spine moving. The flexors a little bit. And then once again, coming back to that still point. Bring the right foot out behind you. Lift it up to hips height. Draw the belly into the spine. And notice if you've got an unevenness in your hands and see if you can press evenly into both hands here. And then exhale, curl the knee in under your body and bring your forehead or your nose towards your knee. Inhale, stretch your back. Exhale, knee to nose. If you want to take the right hand out, you can do that. And take the stretch with the balance. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, squeezing everything, arching the back. Beautiful. Next time your leg is out long, let it come back down to the mat and drop the foot now all the way down, parallel to the back of the mat, and press into the pinky toe edge. Maybe you kick this left foot out a little bit like a kickstand and open yourself up to a side plank. And just notice in your side plank that your ribs are right under, your left ribs are right underneath you. And you can open your heart up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Bring your hand over your ear towards the front of the room. And then circle it down and around. Maybe follow it with your gaze, letting the neck get a little movement too. Circle it a couple of times all the way around. And then next time it comes around, bring it onto your hip and open again. Roll the left ribs underneath you and roll the heart open and lift the back leg up and press the heel away. Yeah, nice. Really nice alignment, everybody. Exhale that back down. And bring the hand back down, come back to hands and knees. And take it on the other side, left leg comes out. Lift it up to hips height, toes pointing down. Find an evenness in both hands to begin with. Draw the belly into the spine. Take a big inhale. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach it back. Maybe feel the little cat-cow movement here in your spine as you're doing this. Arching the back as you curl in. And stretching the heart forward as you stretch it. Maybe lifting the right hand and using that to create a little balancing work as well. Breathe. Big breaths. The next time your leg comes out long, gently drop it down to the back of the mat and swivel so that the whole foot is on the mat. Maybe kick this foot out like a kickstand and open up. Bring the hand to the hips so that you can really first focus on drawing those right ribs this time underneath you so you can open up a little to the ceiling and then lift your arm up. And then exhale all the way around. Big windmill arm. Inhale it up over your ear and around. Couple more times, yeah. And then bringing the hand to the hip and just feeling that alignment again of the right ribs rolling underneath you, the heart opening, and then lifting that leg behind you and pressing the heel away. So you're in a half moon pose here. You're just doing it on your knee. Breathe. Gently drop that foot back down and come back onto hands and knees. Maybe circle the hips a little bit. One way and then the other. Give yourself a little space by bringing the hands a handprint forward. Spread the fingers, press into the fingertips, knuckles, and the inner edges between the index finger and the thumb. Shine the elbow creases forward. Prepare yourself for your first down dog. Tuck your toes and lift yourself up and back. Dropping the heels down towards the mat. Maybe giving yourself a little bend in the knee for your first down dog in the morning. Breathing. Breathing. Really peg out the feet slowly. Really pressing the heel down into the mat, stretching through the calf. Shake out the head a little bit and release through the back of the neck. Beautiful. And then come to stillness in your down dog. And just notice. Notice how you can press into the fingertips, which releases a little pressure from the wrist. And you can breathe from the fingertips all the way to the hip points. And all the way down the back of the leg to the heels. Feel the connection from the fingertips all the way to the heels. Bend your knees, come to your tippy toes, look forward at your hands and make your way to the top of the mat into a forward fold. Feet hips distance apart. Toes pointing forward. Shrug your shoulders and release. Shake the head. Bend the knees a little more and scoop yourself up to stand. Bring the arms up overhead. And draw your hands into. As we were down in forward fold, I meant to say to you to bring your blocks on either side of your feet. So let's do that. We're going to do our first flow with the blocks. Even if you can do it without the blocks, I'm just suggesting that you use the blocks this morning because it will give you a little bit more of a lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, take a half lift. Long, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant those hands on the blocks and bring your right foot down. And keep the knee raised. So we're in a lunge position. The back knee is raised. And just check our alignment, knee over ankle here at the front. Keeping this knee nice and safe. And then bringing the hands onto blocks. And maybe your blocks are on the highest height. So that you can then draw the left hip crease back. Press the heel away behind you. And lift your heart up a little. Yeah, beautiful. Really nice. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, you're going to lift your hips and straighten the front leg and let yourself fold over that leg, any amount. Press the back heel away. Inhale, bend the knee and lift your heart. Exhale, fold over the front leg, straightening the leg, not locking it, but straightening it up. Inhale, forward again. Lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. And then maybe this time, bring your hands onto the blocks and lift your heel as well and really stretch through the front calf. Rocking the crown of the head and breathe. Inhale, come back forward. And bring the left block on the inside of your foot. And so we're kind of in a little bit of a lizard position here. Just give yourself a little rock back and forth. Blocks are giving us a little bit of height here. Drop your back foot down now so that the heel of the front foot intersects at the back. You warrior two legs. And maybe keeping the hand right on this block, open yourself to the side of the room. Bring your hand to your hip. And same thing that we did before, drawing the ribs underneath us. So maybe you need to lift your arm up onto your thigh to really get the fullness of the opening, the heart up. Maybe you can keep your hand on the block. You decide what's going to be right for your body this morning. Great, beautiful. Reach the top hand up towards the ceiling and let that lift you up to your warrior two. Breathe. Settle down into warrior two. Then straighten the front leg and bring the hand to the hip again so that we can keep this lovely alignment. So this sometimes helps us to keep this opening as we reach the front hand out, draw the left hips and the ribs underneath you and bring the hand back down to that block perhaps and lift the top hand up for triangle position. Breathe. Beautiful. Breathe. Take a moment to really let your body settle into the pose.
Sometimes it's lovely in triangle to have the block so there's no weight on that leg. You can really open your heart. Bend the front knee again, come back into warrior two. And then cartwheel your hands back around, swivel, bring the hands back onto the blocks. Shift the block to the outside. I'm going to take them onto the medium size now and set that to plank. Plank on the blocks, please breathe. Drop the knees and come into child's pose. Keep your hands on the blocks if you can. And stretch through the shoulders a little bit. Keeping your hands on your blocks, lift yourself up into your cow position. Shine the heart forward. Exhale, round back into child's. One more time, roll yourself up. Exhale, back down. Inhale, now you can either keep the blocks there for down dog or you can lose them, it's up to you. Inhale yourself up and exhale into down dog. If you've never done down dog with the blocks under your hands, it might be worth a try, it feels a little different. Big breaths. Gently bend the knees, look forward at your hands and make your way to the top of the mat as you exhale. And breathe it. Inhale yourself up to stand. And exhale to your heart. Close your eyes and just feel the body. Breathe in from the toes up to the crown of the head, all the way up the front body, and all the way down the back body as you exhale. Inhale the arms up again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Look forward. Exhale, plant your hands on your blocks and step your left foot down the mat. Keep the knee lifted. Just adjust that lunge position so that you can feel where it's comfortable, but also where you're getting your maximum stretch. So maybe blocks here so that you can, they're just there as a little help, right? Knee over ankle. You're drawing this right hip crease back. You're lifting your body away from your thigh to lift the heart. Feel the strength in your lower body. Breathe. Big inhale, and as you exhale, lift the hips, rock them back, straighten the front leg, drop the crown of the head down, take a fold. Inhale, we'll rock it back and forth 3 times. So inhale, lift it up. Exhale, rock it back. Inhale, roll it up, heart forward. Exhale, rock it back. Stay there this time for a full breath. Maybe lift the toes, bring the foot onto the heel and really feel the stretch through the calf and the hamstring. Inhale yourself back, bend into the knee, bring the block on the inside of that foot. Roll the back foot down, parallel to the back of the mat. So we've got warrior 2 feet. And then open yourself up, bringing your hand onto your hip, rolling your right hips underneath you. So decide whether you're going to keep this hand on the block. Maybe you can roll your body open a little more by bringing the forearm to the thigh. So you decide what you're going to do this morning. Breathe. Lift that top hand up towards the ceiling, over your ear, and give it a circle all the way up. Follow it with your hand if it's okay on your neck. And again. And then let it go all the way up to the ceiling and let that lift you up into warrior 2. Bend into the front knee. Nice, warrior 2. Breathe. Straighten the front leg. Bring your hand back to your hips so that you're opening and rolling the right ribs around and under you so you can come back down to the block and find triangle pose. And see if you can notice the length from the tailbone to the crown of the head, the length through both side waists. Length, yeah, beautiful. And then maybe bring something up into the triangle. Big breaths. Press into your feet to come back up. Bend into the front knee. Cartwheel your hands back around. Back into the lizard pose, and then switch your blocks to frame your foot. Step back to plank. Lower. Breathe in your plank. Exhale, drop the knees. Come back into child's and take a couple of those rolling moves through child's pose, maybe keeping your hands on the blocks as you do it. Inhaling up and arching your back, shining the heart forward. Exhaling back down as you round through the spine. One more time, inhale it up. Exhale. Again, we're going to go to down dog, so you choose if you're using the blocks or not. Lift the hips up and back, down dog. Big breath in, bigger, deep breath out. Lift the right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and open up the hips, so you're stacking the hips. So again, those ribs are rolling underneath you. Maybe you're looking underneath your armpit. Maybe coming to fingertips on the right hand. And you're rolling your left ribs underneath you. So from this position, you can stay here and breathe. But yeah, taking it a little bit of a twist if you want to take a wild thing here, dropping the top leg down, you can. Yeah, come on back. Come on back up. Lift that leg back up and bring it all the way through between your hands. Back to warrior two. Beautiful. Settle in, breathe. Let the shoulders relax. Feel the energy coming through your arms, away through the fingertips from both sides. Flip the palm and lift yourself up first and feel the length through the side body, and then reach it back, that top hand back as you reach your front knee still forward. Breathe, come back up. Take a triangle pose. Think about what we did the first time as rolling those ribs down. Maybe use the block again. Maybe this time you bring the hand behind you, take a half bind. If you can find the top thigh, the top of the right thigh, roll the ribs underneath you and open the heart up towards the ceiling. Exhale, look down. If you took the bind, lift your hands up. We're going to take the block out in front of us now into a half moon pose. So from taking this block out in front of our foot, so bend into the front knee. I'm taking the block out onto the front, pinky toe edge about a foot away, and I'm going to put my hand solidly onto the highest height and gently lift this leg. And as I lift the leg, I'm going to roll the right ribs underneath me, just like we've been doing all class. Press the heel away. And if it feels okay, maybe lift the top arm up. Feeling the legs from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Yes. Yeah, and we wobble, and it's okay, right? We wobble, we fall. That's especially in this pose. Goodness, this is a pose for wobbling. And then gently bend into the front knee and just let your back leg drop back down. Warrior two. Cartwheel your hands all the way back around, back into that lunge position, and bring both blocks onto the inside of your foot. Gently drop the back knee this time. So we're in a lizard pose here, and you might want to stay here and just feel the stretch into the psoas. Or you might want to bring your forearms down onto the blocks. You can bring the blocks lower. If you've got more space, you can bring your forearms down all the way onto the mat. You choose what's right for your body today. And that may not be the same as it was yesterday or what it'll be tomorrow, but what is right today. And breathe. Draw the belly into the spine. Keep supporting the back in these asymmetrical poses. Breathe in. Bring yourself back up to your palms if you came down. Frame the foot, so move the blocks. Maybe move them all the way off the mat. Bring yourself back to hands and knees. Take one cat-cow just to kind of wash that away. And then back to down dog. Lift the left leg up from your down dog now, three-legged dog. And make a choice here. Bend the knee, open up the hip and stay there. Or maybe come to the fingertips on the left hand. Really open up, look underneath your armpit. And maybe take that wild thing here, drop that back leg down. Yes. Lift the hips. It's hard on my wrist. Yeah. Breathe. Nice. If you took wild thing, lift the leg back up to three-legged dog. And bring the leg all the way through in between your hands. Find your warrior two on this side. Breathe. Bend deeply into that front knee, keeping it rolling over to the pinky toe edge of the foot. Let it fall in and flip the front palm. Lift yourself up and back. Breathe. Push that knee and shin forward as you reach your hand back to the back of the room. Inhale, come back up and over and find triangle here. So start with the hand on the hips so that you can roll the ribs underneath you. Bring the hand down to the block or to your shins. Make your choice. Maybe lift that top hand. Maybe take a half bind. Bend the arm behind your back. And that should help you to feel that rolling open. Feel the length from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Length through both side waists. And then look down at your foot. Bend into that front knee. Release the bind. Bring your block. Take half moon on this side. So bring your block to that pinky toe edge of the front foot, about a foot ahead. Maybe to the highest heights to give yourself space in this pose so that you can put your hand on the block and let yourself roll open. Roll the left ribs underneath you as much as you can. Press through the back heel so that the foot is like as if it's pressing into the wall behind you. And maybe lift the top hand. Nice. Really flex that back foot and energize through the leg. Yeah. Gorgeous. And then gently bending the front knee, letting that leg come down. The earth is there to catch you. And come back to your warrior two. Cartwheel your hands onto the inside of your foot. So you're finding your lizard pose, using the blocks perhaps to give you that space, and gently drop the back knee.
And then take lizard on this side. And acknowledge that both sides of your body may be very different, and where you came down last time may not feel good this time. Okay, so it's a big stretch into the psoas, it's a big stretch into the hip. So let it feel good, and let the length from the tailbone to the crown of the head remain, so we don't curl in or crush down. We want to be able to keep that length in the spine and breathe. There's many variations here. So there's one, especially if you've got any SI joint issues, I like to keep the knee drawing in towards the midline. But if your hips are open and feel good here, you can roll the foot open as well. So the variations, many here in lizard that you choose and combine them to suit your body. Breathing. Next inhale brings you back up. Frame the foot with the hand. Bring your knee underneath you again and sink back into child's pose. Maybe it's time letting the forehead come down. It doesn't come down to the mat, maybe down to a block. And letting the shoulders relax by bringing the fingertips towards your feet all the way back. Full child's pose. When I teach kids, we often talk about this pose as being a seed. Imagining yourself as a tiny little seed with everything you need inside that seed to nourish you and help you grow. You have it all already within. So you inhale, reach your hands forward. I'm going to take a little side stretch here. So bring both hands off to the right side of the mat. Stretching them as far forward as they'll go. Maybe stretching the left fingertips even further forward and rooting down through the left hip crease. And you'll feel yourself breathe into the left side ribs. And if your left side ribs got a little light now, see if you can get them heavy and roll them back down. And maybe look underneath your right armpit. So taking the stretch and a slight twist here at the same time. Release that and come back to center. And take it over to the other side. So both hands come off the mat to the left side and you crawl your right fingertips as far forward as they'll go. Draw the right hip crease and the right sit bone back and down. And breathe into the right ribs. You'll feel compression on the left side. That's really good for you too. And if the right ribs got light, which they probably did, now let them get heavy and roll back down. Keeping the length in the arm and maybe looking underneath your left armpit now. Breathe. Release the stretch and come back to center. Pull the elbows a little further forward and bring the hands to prayer behind the nape of the neck. Stretching through the triceps for a moment. Release the hold. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders to lift yourself up. Bring your blocks with you behind you as you come up to sit on your heels. So bring your blocks behind you now. You might want to have them maybe on the medium height, but maybe the high height. You're bringing your hands onto your blocks, fingertips facing forward. So you're letting the shoulder blades come together so you can lift your heart. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Lift the gaze. And then we're going to just lift the hips any amount off your heels. Press into the blocks and just lift your hips up. Shoulder blades come together. Breathe.
Exhale, the hips back down. Inhale again, press into the blocks, lift your heart. If it's okay on your neck, you can drop the head down. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift the heart, lift the hips, maybe drop the head. Exhale, come back down. And then just for an opposite stretch, bring your knees up off the mat if you can. So you're stretching through the tops of your feet. You'll often do that. Come back down. Bring the blocks out of your way. Swing your hips over to one side and bring the legs out. You sit on a folded blanket. Let those legs come out long and strong. So flex the feet, bring the toes up towards the nose. Draw the belly into the spine, shoulder blades back and down, ribs melting down. Feeling that center strength. Inhale your arms up. Reach up through the side body, pull the belly into the spine, and come up and over your legs, bending your knees as much as you need to in this pose. To let the belly come down onto the thighs. And when you find your stretch forward, the heart forward, you're doing a lot of heart forward, so this should feel good. We've already done it many times today. Heart forward, and once you find this stretch that is yours, this is your spot, let the crown of the head just melt down. Increase the stretch through the back of the legs, letting the head come down. Everything's connected. Breathe. Nice. Let your inhale and your hands lift you back up. We're going to bring our right sole of the foot. We haven't done a lot of hip opening. Sole of the right foot comes to the either to the thigh or to the calf. Draw the left hip crease back to keep it nice and even. And then exhale again, up and over. So it's a very tiny little twist. So the midline of the body is over the midline of the leg, and the knee can be as bent as it needs to as you reach your heart forward towards your toes. And just let the hands come wherever they land on the mat. And again, once you've reached the stretch forward, lengthening the spine, lengthening the lower back, then let the crown of the head come back. Honoring where your body is this morning. Inhale, slowly, yourself back up. And we'll switch legs. Gently let the right leg come back and the left leg bend. The knee fall open as carefully as you can. Right, so you're drawing this right hip crease back now, so we've got a nice evenness in the hips, because the tendency is to kind of go asymmetrical here and let this long leg come out longer. So we're drawing it back, evenness in the hips. Inhale up and pressing down to reach yourself forward. Reaching forward, reaching forward. Shoulder blades are coming together a little bit. The heart is doing the reaching, right? The chest, the heart is reaching forward. Knee can be as bent as it wants to be. And then once you find your stretch, you'll let your head drop down, let the arms relax and release to wherever they land. And breathe.
Long deep breaths. Inhale yourself back up to bring both legs out long, feet to the top of the mat. Remove the blanket if you were using. And gently lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Take a bridge pose before we end. And counting. So bend the knees, bring them in towards your glutes. Feet hip distance apart, toes pointing forward. Imagine you have a block between your thighs and press into your feet and lift your hips. You can use your arms pressing down into the mat to help you. You can roll the shoulder blades underneath you a little. Maybe clasp the hands behind your back. Yeah, if you've got your hands clasped, you're going to press the fists and the forearms down into the mat, drawing the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest up towards the chin, and the chin a little to the ceiling. Breathe. If you want to come up to your tippy toes here, you can. Keep squeezing the thighs together. Nice. If you came to your tippy toes, release your heels back down. Release the bind if you took it behind your back, and slowly, 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 as slow as you can, release one vertebrae at a time down onto the mat. Articulate every single part of the spine until the tailbone reaches the mat, and when it does, completely release the spine down. Release any work, any tension, soften. Before you come out long, we're ready for Shavasana. So just windshield wiper your knees a little just to release the back. And then you can practice. If there's any poses that we have not done to complete your practice, take them down. You want to do a shoulder stand, you're certainly prepared for it. Otherwise, take it on both sides. You take a moment to come back to the intention you created at the beginning of practice. Just recognizing how your body may feel a little different now. Ready for Shavasana. Release any control of your breath. Letting your body completely relax, soften, get in. Prefer to be left in peace during your Shavasana. Giving it away. In our relaxation, bringing your attention to our toes, letting them soften and relax. At the tops of the feet and the soles of the feet soften. Soften the ankles, the shins and the calves, the knees, thighs. Soften the muscles of the glutes. Lower back. Mid back. The upper back. The belly. The tops of the hips. The ribs. And the chest. Tops of the shoulders completely relaxed. The upper arms. The elbows. The wrists. And the hands. Back in the neck side. The throat. The chin and the jaw. Lips and the teeth and the tongue. The palate of the mouth, soft and relaxed. Soften the skin on your nose and your cheeks. Let the eyes get heavy, the eyelids soft. Soften the skin on the forehead, the skin on the scalp, the space between the eyebrows, and completely and totally relaxed. The whole entire body, from the crown of your head, tips of your toes, soft and heavy, completely relaxed. yourself be supported by the earth beneath you. Your body sink into the earth. Your next breath, come in a little deeper. Bring the life force back into the body. Again, to bring gentle, slow movement into the fingertips and toes. Maybe circle the wrists and the ankles. Maybe gently rock the head from side to side. Lift the arms up overhead on your next inhale, stretching your whole body from your fingertips to your toes. Take a great big breath in through your nose and sigh away out of your mouth. Gently and slowly draw your knees one at a time in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug and a rock from side to side, and thank yourself for making the time to practice. Gently roll over to your right side into a fetal position and take the deepest breath you've taken all morning. Inhaling and letting it out. When you feel ready, use your hands to gently and slowly lift yourself back up to a seat. And arrive. Bring your hands to your heart center. And we'll seal our practice with one beautiful poem. Joining me or just listening. Me once again. Now I know the light in you that is also the light in me. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you for letting me lead you this morning.
Thank you, Jacqui.
Any questions? Let me know.
What was the name of that song? Byrne, Shavasana, the male singer at the piano was beautiful.
It's the first time I ever saw your place, and it was a version by James Blake. There's lots of versions, but this version is really nice. Isn't it? Yes.